So I'm going to be making a heart bead. Will be what we do for the Mother's Day class. The first thing you do is you heat up your mandrel. That's a piece of steel here that is covered in bead release so that I can get the bead off at the end. I'm going to start simultaneously heating up my glass rod. Decided to make a white heart, and then we're going to decorate it with a little bit of pink. I've got my mandrel nice and hot. Takes a little bit of time to heat up the glass. Tell that it's starting to melt because it's turning clear. Get a little gather of glass on here. I'm going to start applying it to the mandrel, making kind of a donut shape, making donuts right next to one another till I get about the width of the widest part of the heart, whatever it is that I want. And just about as wide as I'd like. So I've got something that looks like this. Now I'm going to add glass to it to make sure that I had enough glass to actually form the heart shape. I think I've got enough glass. I'm going to shape it just a little bit into a shape that's called a bicone. That means it's more narrow on either end and a little fatter in the middle. Fairly easy shape to create. So I've just got to get my glass really hot. Get narrow on one end, make it narrow on the other end, and you'll have something that looks like that. So my next step is going to be heat this guy, and I will smash it. I give it a little smash like that. So that's what we're going to start with as far as shape. Heating up one side, and I'm going to cut it with my knife. Just put a little indentation in it. And that's how we're going to start creating our heart shape. Working on the two lobes that are at the top. One side is a little bit too small, then you can just add a little bit of glass. That's what I'm going to do here. Best thing about glass is if you end up with a shape you don't like, you can just melt the whole thing back in and start the process over. And getting the beginning of the heart, you can see the two lobes at the top. So I'm going to start heating the bottom, start pulling it down to create that point at the bottom. I can shape it a little bit with my knife, pull it down a little bit more. You can see that heart. Gonna pick up my stringer. Let's see, where did you go? It's over here. The stringer is just a thin piece of glass. It's gonna melt faster because it is so thin, so you have to be careful with it. It doesn't require a lot of heat. I'm just gonna give this some polka dots. I'm gonna melt those dots in. Right now they're all raised, and I want my bead to be smooth. Heating up the back because I need to flatten it out again. We want it to sit up against the body nicely. To refine that cut that makes the two lobes because I've been doing a lot of melting up here and I want to make sure that's visible. There you go. It goes off to the kiln.